Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for assembling as quickly and efficiently as you have. My name is Amy Glasmeier, and I'm a professor in the Department of Urban Studies and Planning. I am also one of the co-faculty directors of the energy minor for undergraduates here at MIT. I am very pleased to be here, to see you all here. I was here at the first symposium, and it was startlingly beautiful with all of the women in the audience, and the energy in the room was palpable. It was almost took your breath away. So I'm equally pleased to be here at the second symposium, and I wish to send greetings to you from all of the individuals who have been a part of this. In order for us to ensure that our speakers have the amount of time that they can spend with us, I'm going to go almost directly into their presentations. I'd just like to say some very brief introductory comments. This day and this two-day event was organized in response to a recognition of the role that women play, but often are not recognized for in the field of energy. The event itself came out of an international negotiation which was designed to make a point, which is that women are major actors in the field of energy around the world. We have great ideas, great energy, we're good leaders, and one of the most important parts of our day-to-day existence is how hard we work and how few times we actually put our head up and look around and see the people around us, because we're doing the world of change. And so this event is organized to recognize those great people who have dedicated their lives to making the world a better place. And we're here today to not only recognize the people who are, in a sense, almost leaders or mentors, people who have been acknowledged as senior posts within the field, but also to recognize new people coming up in the field who offer us insight about the way that energy is evolving over time. I'd like to recognize our sponsors who make this possible, and who you will see little bits and pieces of them throughout the time here, and we just want to thank them. Chevron Energy Solutions, Cummins, General Electric, Lockheed Martin, Mass Clean Energy Center, and Walmart. In addition, the event sponsor here at MIT is the MIT Energy Initiative, which is an organization that is capable to draw on all the resources that are available at the Institute to not only sponsor extraordinary research, but also to ensure that we are training the leaders of the future. I will do a bit of housekeeping after our first speaker, so I'm going to move to that now. I'm very pleased to introduce Güler Sabancı. She is the chairman and managing director of Sabancı Holding, the parent company of the Sabancı Group, Turkey's leading industrial and financial conglomerate. I have to say that I was given many words to speak, but one of the couple that I really actually got a kick out of was to say that she's one of the most powerful women in the world. That seemed totally appropriate for this event. And she's not all that tall either. So she has worked in a variety of positions within the family holding company of the organizations that she's been a part of. She has a history of working in manufacturing as well as in other leadership positions within her organization. She has been the founding president of a university, the Sabancı University, and has been presiding over the board of trustees of the Sabancı Foundation. She's the first female of the TÜSAD, Turkey's Industrialists and Businessmen's Association, as well as the first and only female member of the European Roundtable of Industrialists. She sits on the Siemens AG Supervisory Board, United Nations Global Compact Board, International Business Council of the World Economic Forum, and the External Advisory Board of the Mighty Energy Initiative, so she's actually a member of the family. In 2011, she was named the second on the Financial Times list of the most important women in the world today in business, and received the Clinton Global Citizen Award by the Clinton Global Initiative, founded by President Bill Clinton, in recognition of her contributions to women's and girls' human rights and the social, cultural, and economic development of Turkey. With no further ado, please, let's give her an applause.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Amy, for the introduction. Well, it is great honor, and I'm genuinely very pleased to be here among all of you. Such an engaging and accomplished woman all around, such a great energy as Amy have said. It's a great pleasure to be here. Two great women has invited me. They're not here for different reasons. Melanie Kanderline and Susan Hochfield, who are both good friends. Melanie is in Washington, I understand, and Susan Hochfield is sick and bad. So, but we are all here, and it's great to be here. Nothing can match the vital energy that the women get together when we connect. Yes, the topic is, why do we need more women in clean energy? I guess for the answer, the people who are here have no doubt about that we do need women in the clean energy and in the future of the world. But I will try to gather my thoughts on that. There is an interesting thing about when we talk about clean energy, we immediately think about the future. But there is an interesting thing about that. Until 150 years ago, renewable energy sources, clean energy, was dominant in our world. Egyptians used wind to move their boats 3200 BC. 2,500 years ago, Greeks used the sunlight to warm their homes and hydropower to green their grain. And 200 BC, the Chinese invented windmill. Yet there is a futuristic approach, aspect to it when we all look at it, and all the work that I see outside, all those panels and everything. Albert Einstein, for instance, won the Nobel Prize, as you all know, on physics in 1921 for his groundbreaking experiment with solar power. So the clean energy boat is our past and looks like it's our future. And the greatest challenge for this generation is for us, it is left to us to build a sustainable energy system. It's actually left to you. There is much younger generation I see here who are all engaged here on this matter. It's obvious that decisions about how our economies are developing, growing, and how we sustain our world, and how we generate energy to support them will definitely shape our society in all aspects. The Pew Clean Energy Action Plan 2012 declares that the global economy is at clean energy tipping point. The clean energy has been sadly underutilized over the past century. And the women have been traditionally locked out of energy decisions, as we all know. So the clean energy and the woman actually complement each other, or I should say they share the same fate, which thankfully we all believe that the future belongs to both of them. Worldwide clean energy investments make up to $263 billion, which means they are 600% higher now than in 2014. Only in 9 years, less than a decade, it's 600 times higher. The International Energy Agency forecasts the clean energy will provide half of world's electricity over the next 25 years. This is a great assumption. This is a great forecast, depending on all the elements. But half of the world's electricity over the next 25 years will be clean energy. In order to achieve this, we have to attract more than $6 trillion worth of investment. So you can imagine the capacity there, the opportunity there. Globally, an estimated 5.2 million jobs were connected to the clean energy sector by 2012. 5.2 up to 2012. So if you think about the forecast, the potential when you look at this forecast together with what we have achieved, yet the worldwide, the energy sector workforce, as we all know, we achieved this with overwhelmingly male-dominated sector. So the gender divide is even more pronounced in the universities as you are all living in. This shows the potential we have. But I'll give you, we are in MIT, I'm sure the numbers in MIT are different, but the OECD numbers, OECD countries, women make up nearly 80% of humanities majors, but only 11% of electrical engineering majors, and 20% of physics majors. So there is, as in one meeting, in one conference in New York, Hillary Clinton once said, we have an unfinished business. We still have a lot of room to do, a lot of work to do. So we are here today. We all believe that we can change this, and it will change, and it has to change. This is why this sector has the highest opportunity, I believe, strongly for women. Clean energy is a high-tech economy relying on the expansion of cutting-edge technology and continued scientific advancement and continuous interdisciplinary approach and research. We will need a ready army of highly trained, highly skilled scientists and engineers, like most of you are here today, who can perform the research and development required for the new high-tech economy. And not only that, but capable of managing this complexity. This is also a crucial matter for the global competitiveness. Technology and innovation will drive the new high-tech clean energy economy, and competition will be on global scale. We know this part. Lack of women in such a progressive and innovation-demanding field as clean energy is not good for the future of the business. I'm sure even the man will agree on that. 2012 analysis by the World Economic Forum found that supporting women's own innovative abilities could be a rich source of improving renewable energy technologies. Innovation is at the heart of growth in any new sector, especially such as complex one as the clean energy. The best driver of innovation is diversity, expertise, and curiosity. This is where the women come in, I think. As Victor Hugo said, curiosity is one of the forms of feminine bravery. By being curious, we are embracing change. We are showing the courage for change. The clean energy field needs women's ideas, perspectives, solutions, and ingenuity. I have first-hand experience to this. I want to share with you, this May, I have had the opportunity of opening up of one of our energy companies' 133 megawatt wind farm on the Turkish west coast. This is Turkey's largest renewable power plant to date. I was very proud to see that the project director of this wind farm was a highly accomplished young woman, engineer by background, but highly successful on project leadership. We already have 2 other wind farms in my group, which will be, total installed capacity will be 69 megawatts. To mention about how I am related to the energy business, our plan in my group is to operate 4,000 megawatts of renewable energy sources by 2020. Half of it is already in operation, other half is in projects. We are actively urging more women engineers and more women leaders to help us on achieving our goal. we definitely need more capable, determined, and innovative women to work with us. But the issue of women and the clean energy is not just about bringing more women into energy sector and workplace. It is also about how changes in the energy sector can actually help empower women. Women are not a special interest group in renewable energy. They are the mainstream users, often producers of energy and the savers of energy. They are agents of change in their homes, places, and works and communities. The United Nations recently launched a Sustainable Energy for All program. Tomorrow morning in New York, we will be talking about this at the UN summit. It identifies energy and women's health as a high-impact opportunity to achieve energy for everyone by 2030. This long-term initiative aims to give access and control over clean energy sources to women. The reason is simple. Women understand the intergenerational aspect of clean energy, climate change, and sustainable development. Women think in generational times and horizons. They are concerned with their children and their grandchildren's future. We need to use this understanding to influence the political process and to inject a much needed sense of urgency into adapting clean energy. Well, this afternoon, many of us focus on the large macro-scale benefits of clean energy, and in this summit in the afternoon and tomorrow, you will be focusing on more projects. But even greater benefits exist on a smaller scale, as we all know, impacting the lives of millions of individual women around the world in energy-poor areas. As we also know, the numbers are such that approximately 1.3 billion people living in poverty and without access to electricity in the world. 1.3 billion people. And it's also clear that 70% of this is women. Providing access to electricity based on clean energy makes women's lives better. Let me give you one example from my own country. Turkey is an emerging country. Per capita income is $10,000 plus only recently. But I have to admit, thanks to mainly to the hydropower investments that is done in the last decade in my country, coverage in Turkey is now 100% since 2005. At 2005, my country have reached 100% coverage of electricity. And we observe from the white goods sales, clearly, the data from the women's foundations, that there has been a remarkable improvement on the women and girls' lives in rural areas. My foundation works with women's and girls' human rights issues, so I do travel all around Turkey. Washing machines, vacuum cleaners, television, you name it, they have it. Their workload has been smaller, allowing them more time for education, income-earning activities, and improvement of the family conditions is remarkable. It has improved their health, their security, and their local economy, and in turn improved their entire community. The benefits of achieving universal access to modern, clean energy services are transformational, especially for women. As some of you might know, as Amy also mentioned, I started my career as an industrialist, started working in a tire company in the late 70s. And all through my career, working in the industry, different fields of the industry, lack of electricity, lack of energy low quality of energy, which affected our production and the results of our quality. It was an important, serious issue. And when Turkey in the 80s, we started opening up to the world, started facing new competition, exporting, and that was the biggest challenge, really. That was the biggest bottleneck on the industry in Turkey. In '95, in order to make the story short, it was myself and my team, we tried to convince our board that we needed a very modest cogeneration plant in order to achieve, for our own usage, in order to achieve successful, high-quality energy. In 2004, I became the chairman of the group after my uncle. One of the first things I tried to convince my board that energy is not a tool, is a sector in itself, is a business in itself. And I was able to convince the board, but it wasn't only the prospects of the sector, but it was, of course, it has to be coupled. It has to be supported by the reforms, by the policies of the government. In most of the emerging countries, energy sector is still highly public-owned, public-dominated. In my country, I'm proud to say, since 2005, the government has a very clear objective and has a very clear plan of privatizing and liberalizing the energy sector. When we started in 2004, about 90% of the sector was public-owned. Today, 100% of the distribution is private, in private hands, and my group is taking a big share of it. And the power generation, 50% of it is private. And we have a target of 2020, the sector total will be more than 75% will be privately owned. So you need this support in order to achieve these numbers. We as a group, as I said, once we defined it as our core business, we are now vertically integrated electricity company operating as one entity, covering generation, wholesale, distribution, and retail segments of the market. And we are #1 private company now, and use of efficient energy technologies is a priority in that context for our company and for our business plans. The importance, of course, given to the energy sector, to the clean energy, we are heavily investing in it. And contribution of the, I still only, in my group even, it's only 30%, 35% is women. We need more women in this sector working. And in order to grow, in order to achieve our targets, we definitely need that. And for me, as a personally, I must admit, being on the decision-making and the leadership role of this energy sector has, I find it extremely rewarding because it is highly complex, highly interdisciplinary. You in this country right now, that's why I know from the MIT Initiative Board also, that US is going through an incredible change thanks to shale gas and shale oil, which we also, it's going to be a defining factor for the world. It's going to have a huge impact on the world energy resources, how to distribute the energy resources. This, putting all these things together, this makes me even more confident that over the next century, energy, how we achieve it, how we distribute it, and how we use it will be of utmost importance to global economy global security, and the very future of our planet. The need for innovation, the complexity of the subject requires highly interdisciplinary approach. It requires high technology. It demands highly talented, successful, engaged women like yourselves. Yes, it is complex. Yes, it is challenging. Yes, it is long-term. But yes, it is great to be part of the solution, and I know you also feel like that. Thank you.